afternoon, everyone. I recognize some of you from Soho, actually. Because a week ago, we got together like this, with a pink table, and we asked everyone to come to the table to talk. Everyone. We asked absolutely everyone. And you need to understand how big a conversation that was and why it had to be that big a table. Unfortunately, the police took it away. But we're still here. We are the table. I came to talk to you in our metaphorical table about 3 things today. I'm going to start big and then go small, inverted commas. The gentleman who spoke before me was an amazing, amazing man. You don't know what it's like to leave the place you live in the midst of destruction and death and come here, right here, in front of the bank, and say words of resistance. You don't know how hard it is. I am blessed with the ability to sit at such an intersection because my family from the Niger Delta know what it's like to live in the shadow of a rogue fossil fuel company. South America suffers deforestation. Asia Pacific suffers deforestation. The Congo suffers deforestation. And as we take away life on this scale, you, the brave few, you here have stood up and said no. Last year, we stood just over there, and I stood up and I said, this must stop now. I was talking about ecocide, and there was no doubt in my mind that this was a mountain we could not climb. It was going to be too difficult. How could we do it? Well, we could raise our voices and see what would happen, and we did. And what happened was, in July of this year, Jojo Metha and her team, in memory of Polly Higgins, achieved the impossible, an international definition of ecocide. This year, COP comes to Britain. Concerned parties from around the world will come to these aisles to argue about how globally all of us decarbonize. This year, the IPCC has told us, in technical terms, that the reality is we are drinking at the last chance saloon. We are facing runaway climate breakdown. We need to stop the Titanic and turn the ship around. And so we came here, in front of the Bank of England again, to say again, this really must stop now. This year, the Bank of England says, by its own numbers, that it will spend £875 billion on quantitative easing. That's 9 zeros. This year, from its own numbers, we've heard that it spent £252 billion on a COVID corporate finance facility. Well, the numbers are so gargantuan that it's difficult to understand. But they pumped money into the economy as a result of the catastrophe that was COVID. But they've done so indiscriminately. They've placed no conditions as to who that money went to. They haven't asked the companies who borrowed that money to transition faster or do better. Now, there's a word that people use to describe when you do something without taking care. When you breach a duty of care. That word is negligence. And so we came today to have a conversation with the ruler of this citadel. And Andrew Bailey very kindly said he would consider it, and then just now said no. As a sitting member of the Citizens Advisory Panel that the Bank of England convenes, I can tell you that we haven't had enough chance to talk to Andrew about climate either. So it was a bit shocking when last month, forgive me, we're in September, in July, the bank released its own report telling us that by its own research, due to its own action, it has allowed Britain to make contributions towards global warming through its own use of capital that take the world towards 3 degrees centigrade. It is a shame. It is a shame. It is beyond a shame. It is negligent. All of you who are here are witness to it. Some of you who are here have given your freedom up for it, and I salute you all. I want to mention specially James Brown, who may not be here, who gave up so much, who overcame disability and fear, who stood up for what was important, and who unfortunately was convicted. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but I want to mention his bravery and thank him for his service. I want to mention again Jojo Metha, whose amazing work on Ecocide is the prelude to our victory. If Jojo can do it, if she can hold over 150 countries and thousands of corporations to the word of the International Criminal Courts, so can we. I want to thank the founders of XR. And I want to particularly thank a young lady who, in my opinion, doesn't get enough amplification for her statements. Claire Farrell, who probably isn't here, said a few days ago, no one else is coming to save us. No one. And that's why you are the superheroes of today. You are the brave ancestors of tomorrow. You are the reason why the world will look on this place at this time in front of this building, and they will say to you all, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And when I think about hundreds of thousands, maybe millions murdered by irresponsible corporates who damage biodiversity, who create giant carbon plumes, who pollute the ocean, pollute the air, pollute the water, with apparently no recourse until now. And when I think about the Jojo Methas of this world, when I think about heroes, everyday heroes like you, I realize the battle is set fit. And don't doubt it. This is David versus Goliath. But we know how that story ends. I'm going to end by saying one thing and one thing only. At COP in November, in Glasgow, we're going to be shouting very loud and very proud about how important it is to give everyone the chance to vote on stopping the financing of new fossil fuel projects. Because no matter how good your PR people are, no matter how good your lawyers are, no matter how good your lobbyists are, you can't greenwash the fact that while you're growing the fossil fuel industry, you're not in transition. And believe me, whether it's obvious now or more obvious in the future, we are in transition. We absolutely are. And that's it. That's where I end. I end with those three thank yous, that reassurance that we're moving forward, that